The farm belonged to Peter Cesar, a Dutch farmer. In the spring of the same year, Peter Cesar received two visitors. His brother Hendrik, accompanied by a British surgeon named Alexander Dunlop. The two men knew too well that for the past 2 centuries, Europeans had been fascinated by the Khoikhoi, especially the women. This would explain their immediate interest in the 20-year-old Sarah.
The Khoikhoi or Hottentot peoples of southern Africa were particularly interesting to Europeans because they had an almost morbid fascination in the genital and special features of the Khoikhoi people, especially the females. And there had long been rumors in Europe that there were some very special and interesting and unusual features about Khoikhoi ladies' genital anatomy. And although it is today repugnant to us to think about such matters, these early naturalists wanted to find out for themselves, were they, as rumor had held, were they something very different and very special? Behind it, there was a mindset. And the mindset was, are these people really human? There was even a feeling that they didn't belong to our human species, which all the rest of the world belonged to, but they were something apart.
Hendrik Cesar and Alexander Dunlop both knew that if they could convince Sarah Baartman to accompany them to Europe, they would make a fortune.
If she was a slave in Cape Town, she had very little choice about her life. Once she was a slave, she had very little choice about where to live, how to live, what to do. It is quite perfectly possible that if it is true, as Hendrik Cesar says, that he came across her on the farm of his brother, that his brother simply gave him to her as one person would give a slave to another and say, take her.
We definitely give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, glorified Kadamawe Haile Selassie I. I welcome you to the Tiger's Nest Royal family. You're definitely in tune to Radio Anu. This is the international flavor. This is the universal spice. Of course, you know you are definitely locked into the website of the Institute, PriestIsaacInstitute.com. Yes, Royal Family, Honorable Priest Isaac here with you, your humble servant for this evening. And I was just somewhat giving you a taste of what we will be going into this evening. Yes, this is going to be a very deep and a very special edition of the Tiger's Nest. Of course, if you are not a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest, it is a very easy thing to do. Remember, the Tiger's Nest radio program is a program that comes to you every Monday, and then every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7 p.m. sharp. We're talking about Eastern Caribbean time. Once again, right here on Radio Anu. We will be premiering some part of this program on Radio Anu TV, which is the YouTube. So I'm just, of course, advising all of our family on the YouTube. Remember that the link for Radio Anu, the radio station, to get the full episode of this program is in the link, is in the description below. The link itself is in the description below this video. So when we literally cut off this specific streaming, all you have to do is go below the video and press the link, and it will bring you straight to Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. Very serious discussion we're going to go into this evening. And remember now, this is a discussion, a reasoning. Of course, we would touch upon it already, and I'm sure many of you would know of Sarah Bartman, who they refer to as Hottentot Venus. And of course, she is considered to be, according to them, this mythical character that they finally have found. Now, you see, that is very interesting, you know. But what we're going to be going into this evening, we're going to show you exactly why there is this sinister and evil delight in portraying the Black woman in the way that the Black woman is being portrayed today by the same enemy that prepares her clothes for her. You got to keep this in mind. Huh? We don't dress ourselves. We don't feed ourselves. We definitely don't educate ourselves. We don't do nothing for ourselves. It is our enemy. This is why we try our best to mimic our enemy. No one needs to be offended. This is just the truth. That is why from the time you're born, you're given not just a doll, but a Barbie doll. You understand? So already the young little girl, the young princess is given this image that she has to attain unto. You understand? Because there is this delight in exploiting the beauty. Let me repeat this. There is this delight in exploiting the beauty, the natural beauty of the Black woman. Now, if you disagree, well, I'm positive by the end of this program here, you will surely see exactly what we are saying. Now, remember what we were speaking about a few days ago? Remember, we were speaking about the Venuses, not specifically Hottentot Venus, Sarah Bartman, of the Cow people. No, we were specifically talking about the Venus of Willendorf and Hollisfels and several other Venuses. And if you observe the whole makeup of these statuettes that we were highlighting for those who were with us, very similar, very similar to the Venus, Sarah Bartman, Venus of Hottentot. Interesting, isn't it? When you really observe now, the whole aspect of the reality, what we are dealing with, as the individual just said in that documentary you were listening to, when they discovered these people, when they discovered her, remember they brought her to Europe, you know. This is in the early 1800s. Remember they took her like a zoo animal. Remember they brought her and they abused her, sexually abused her even after she died. They would have took her private parts and had them all over the place on display and all sorts of foolishness, even up to today. Now just meditate. What kind of mentality? I mean, they would have shows and thousands of people would come out to ridicule the beautiful African woman because she had features that they could not even dream to possess. That's all it is, That's all it is. Yeah. So the women of Europe may have been mocking and laughing, but it was in shade. The fellas were pretending to mock and laugh, but they were having a grand old time. And remember, yeah, this is just what it is. I'm not lying. This is what it is. She has become somewhat of the symbol of the abuse woman. That is why many conscious individuals, especially the woman, respect and revere her. It's almost like a female Christ who would have, bore the crucifixion and the scourge and the scorn and the beatings and the disrespect and the disgrace. But we now, have we accepted the blood that she would have shed? Or are we still wallowing in the sin of the the evil, wicked world that has designed, once again, our clothes, have designed our entertainment for us, have designed our religion, have designed dinner, lunch, and breakfast, and all the snacks in between. So what we're going to go into this evening is just going to prove without a doubt, there's no love for us. There's no love for the Black woman. Don't mind how much they say, hey, you, sister, you come up here. Let's give you a few extra degrees. Don't worry about him. He can stay in the hood. Let's give you a few extra degrees and see if you can fit into this jeans here and put on this high heel. And don't worry, you're going to be the CEO. You are going to wear the pants in the family. And somehow we feel that he loves the Black woman. You know, certain places of the world, you know, a woman receives more benefits if she doesn't have a husband in the house or a man in the house with the child. It's a reality. I'm not asking you. I'm not telling you what I heard on some documentary. I can call names for you. Eh? So she has a child, and for whatever reason, she puts the brother out. And because of that, the welfare or whatever fare she's getting from the government, she can double that now. Yeah, because there's no man around. That's a system well designed. But anyway, welcome to the Tiger's Nest. Yeah, give thanks for your presence. As I said, the man in the documentary was just saying, hey, they found the mythical character. Why is it so mythical? Because again, remember, 30,000 years ago in the same Europe, the Venus was already there. The Venus was revered. The Venus was worshipped for her beauty. The Venus was given the highest position in theology and philosophy and all theory. Yeah, motherhood. And again, we would have gone through that a few days ago. So you cannot separate that Venus from the other Venus. It's reality. Hey, give thanks for your presence. I mean, hey, this is going to be serious this evening. You know what you have to do. Prepare yourself. Make sure you have your snacks. Make sure you have your meds. I already had my snacks. It's meds time for me. In fact, I think I have to reload this chalice. And we have not even begun yet. I could refer to this as the introduction. Prepare for this evening's edition of the Tiger's Nest. Give thanks for your presence with us. Yeah, Radio Agnew. Hey, listen, before we go any further, make sure you share the link, family. And those of you who will be watching the premiere on the YouTube, share the link. Press the thumbs up button. Let someone else know that you're watching this. Do you have WhatsApp? Well, share the link on your WhatsApp for your brother. Yeah, are you on Instagram and TikTok? Well, do me a favor. Share the link with your friends there. You have a list of an email list, don't you? Well, hey, share the link. Even if it's not this link tonight, go back to some video and just share the link. Let others know. Let others know, what you know. Let them understand that every time this brother is on, I try my best to hear what he's saying. Share it. I'm sure they will, delight in what you're hearing in the same way that you delight in what you're hearing. And then all of us can work better together because we have a similar understanding of things. What say you? So, as I said, share the link and let them know this is going to be a serious edition of the Tiger's Nest.
When I am dead, wrap the mantle of the red, the black and the green around me. For in the new life I shall rise up with God's grace and blessing to lead the millions of the heights and the triumph that you well know. Look for me in a world when there's a storm. Look for me all around you. For with God's grace I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and right.
Saturday, the 25th of May. Two faiths, two different perspectives. One origin, Ethiopia. Ras I Adonis, Rabbi, Lion of Judah Society. The faithful of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. A scholarly discourse on the subject. Who is the Lion of Judah of Revelation chapter 5? Get your tickets today. Family. I mean that family. Our youths, our young ones, our children, we need them, redeem them, and clean them. You see them, or else the enemy will come and scheme them. Family. I mean that. Family. Education for the nation that's full of salvation, biology, astronomy, and African theology, geography. Family. I love that. Family. Whatever the age or the stage, that youth will be engaged with tutorials, activities, and videos from the studios of the Priest Isaac Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Family.
The International Homeschool Program is designed and recommended for all ages. The psychological state of our children is very important, especially in the environment that most of us live in. The International Homeschool Program provides online classes, activities, and videos that are fun for the youth and edifies them of their African heritage as well as the higher sciences. To enroll your family today, visit www.priestisaacinstitute.com, go to the main website, and search for Youth Corner. Or you can email priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com for a course sample. Thank you, thanks.
Oh, blessed love, once again, Royal Family, give thanks for your presence with us. And again, this is the Tiger's Nest. I welcome each and every one, those who may be just coming in, for those who may be stepping in on Radio and New TV, which is the YouTube. Definitely, I'm encouraging you to join us on Radio Anu itself on our website, which is priestisaacinstitute.com. Of course, the fullness of this program this evening will not be premiered on the YouTube, you understand? So when this program comes to a ceiling on the YouTube, we're not done. We're far from done. All you have to do is to go in the description of this video and press the link, and it will lead you straight to Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. And once again, the link is priestisaacinstitute.com. And again, I must encourage each and every one, those who are not subscribers to the Tiger's Nest radio program, is a very simple thing to do. I will always encourage you to become a subscriber. And of course, that means you will never, ever miss another episode of the Tiger's Nest radio program again. And remember, this is a radio program that comes to you every evening at 7 p.m. So for whatever reason, then you would have missed the Tiger's Nest radio program tonight or previous night or whenever, we will be sending you the radio program. So you get it in your inbox via the email every single day after the program. And as you can see, this is not a radio show. This is a scholarly sit-down. This is the educational station. And then remember that, when you visit our website, you will see how very inexpensive the packages are for the Tiger's Nest radio program. And of course, remember, once you are a subscriber for the Tiger's Nest radio program, for example, the event we're having on the 25th day of May, all of you who are subscribers to the Tiger's Nest, I can even tell you a little secret. even if you're subscribed to the Tiger's Nest on the same day. You understand? You will definitely have to pay no charge to come into any one of our gatherings as it relates to our online lectures, webinars, things of the sort. They are open to all of the subscribers. So for example, I know many of you are already preparing yourself for Saturday, the 25th day of May. Of course, we will be having that beautiful sit-down scholarly reasoning. This is with the Lion of Judah Society. Of course, our brother, Raskai Odonis, and of course, the brotherhood from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. And the discussion and the reasoning will be, who is the Lion of Judah of Revelation chapter 5? Let me say it again, family. We're not looking for no Royal Rumble here. We're not looking for no SummerSlam. We're looking for scholarly professor-like university-style reasonment so you can know you learned something here. You didn't leave hearing about up the skirt of the other opponent's mother and that kind of foolishness there, of which debates have become. You understand? So individuals will get a time to speak, nobody interrupting them, so that they can bring forth, like a scholar should bring forth, the proof and facts why they hold up what they're holding up. You understand? And then, of course, afterwards, the other individual will get a chance to do the same. And each presentation will be up for critique. You following me, family? So definitely it's going to be a beautiful session. If you're serious about this knowledge, you would have already had your tickets. Because, of course, remember, your tickets are only $15 before the 19th. After the 19th, it's $20. Well, only $20 still. It's still only for the sort of, encounter we're going to have, the atmosphere. You'll be able to comment and question once you are in the house. No, it's not going to be on the YouTube. It is going to be specifically an online webinar where you'd have to purchase your ticket to be there. But you don't have to buy no ticket if you are a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest radio program. Number one, you'll be getting the Tiger's Nest every day. Even if you don't get the program, you'll have a reason to come home and check your email and press play and relax, or go and wash your car, or wash the dishes, or cook the food while Priest Isaac is speaking to you, serenading you with knowledge, information, inspiration, a little vibes, a little shake your legs sometime too, just to make sure you stay alive. Yeah, the Tiger's Nest, your little children can listen. You can put it in your car. When you're driving, you'll hear all the information and vibration coming to you. Yeah, so give thanks. All right. Don't worry, man. We have a whole program ahead of us. We have enough talking to do, enough vibrations to get into. Yeah. So those of you who may be even watching on the YouTube saying, let's get to the subject, we get into the subject now. I hope you're going to press the link in the description below because we're going to begin the program now. Definitely. And you will join us on Radio Anu. The international flavor, the universal spice. Beautiful. Now, family, what I want to do before we get into any stiff reasoning on this subject area, because, hey, listen, as I said, we're not only going to be just speaking of the history of Sarah Bartman. I think we'd have done a few programs on that, just highlighting Sister Honorable Princess Acacia Menin would have done a beautiful documentary highlighting certain aspects of the Black woman in African history, of which, Sarah Bartman would have been a part of that. As I said, she's from what they know known as the Cow people, and pardon me, an African once told me, an African sister once told me, when you pronounce, you have to say cow. Yeah, so you gotta pardon me still. I know we usually say koi. We usually say koi. But she's telling me you have to put in the koi. So I mean, I guess so forgive me. But anyway, she's of the koi people, as we know them, or koi people. And again, she would have been taken to London. You have to keep in mind, we're speaking of a time when the African black man and woman were seen as zoo animals, literally seen in the zoos of America. Do you know how the Brooklyn Zoo began? The Brooklyn Zoo began with Africans. They used to take us and purposely file our teeth so that we would have these sharp teeth, pardon me, teeth, and make us look like some wolves or wolverines or some sort of animal ready for the prey. So in fact, the first zoos were not lions. The first zoos were not bears and tigers and elephants and giraffes. The first zoos were African people. The first zoos were little baby Africans and Indians as well. They used to have them in some zoos as well. So when they came to Africa, and they would have exploited Sister Batman, she wasn't the only sister that would have gone through this. Remember, she is not as special as they want us to believe. You just heard the professor a moment ago clearly explain that yes, to the Europeans, when they saw her, she was like this fine specimen of a thing. But to her own people, the Khoi people or Oi people, she was seen as just a regular sister amongst the rest of us, because that is how we look. Of course, you know, the artistry would have exaggerated somewhat, but still it doesn't mean that there's not some reality to the shapely expression that this sister and many sisters in her tribe or from her people would have had. And that is why I highlighted again the lecture we had a few evenings ago, where we saw figurines from all over the world, from all over Europe specifically, that highlighted the same shape, the same structure, the same understanding that we see when we look at a figure like Venus Hottentot. In fact, she's a Venus. And the figurines that we were expressing were Venuses. So the fact that they're all Venuses shows you that those who call them Venus, because Sister Bartman didn't call herself Venus. In fact, they say they're not too sure what her real name was from birth. Some call her, I think, Sashi. And then they call her Sarah, Venus of Hottentot, which is another name they give for the Southern African people, the Khoi people, same people. You understand? So this is how the whole vibration came about as it relates to this sister here, sent to Europe, used as a spectacle, used as a sexual toy. That's really what it is, eh? Used as you know, as a plaything, abused, used as you know, an article of pleasure for many of these fellas. And again, even after she would have passed, they would have cut off her vulva and all of these things and had it on display. Can you imagine that? What kind of mentality is that? But then again, that's what was done to a lot of the Africans, even in the US, when they would have literally castrated the fellas that the Africans, the enslaved Africans that they would have hung. And even after slavery, this was a big thing. They would have taken off their genitals and put them in vinegar so they can preserve them, and had them in their stores and would sell them and display them and all sorts of freakish stuff. And they referred to Venus Hottentot as a freak. Now, who's the real freak? They refer to her as a freak. They're the ones, they have pictures of these fellas smelling up, I mean, her gluteus maximus, and you're telling me she's a freak. Yes, family, I want us to listen to this. Hey, give thanks. This is the Tiger's Nest. I'm talking about Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. I hope you would have already shared the link, family. All right. And in fact, the link to Radio Anu, share that link, because specifically, remember, we'll be sealing the premiere on the Radio Anu TV, the YouTube, in a few moments. All right. Now let us continue to listen to this.
When Saatchi turned up in this country, their black population was still mostly living in London and the seaports in various states. On one hand, you can say that the majority of the black people here were of the status which is known as slave servants, that midpoint of servitude, and that's just a fact. On the other hand, you can look at the writings of a noted socialite like Mrs. Hester Piozzi, who noted 8 years before Saatchi turned up in London that there were black ladies in all their finery in the pit at the opera, attending the opera house. At the same time, she also noted black children playing in the squares with their nurses. So although there was a concessionary number of black people who managed to move through society with relative ease, the majority of the community were in some sort of servitude or some sort of beggary.
Uppermost in Hendrik Cesar and Alexander Dunlop's minds was to profit from their rare specimen. They approached William Bullock, the keeper of the Art and Natural History Museum. They offered to sell him Sarah Bartman and the giraffe skin. Bullock bought the giraffe skin but refused to buy Sarah. Apparently Dunlop panicked and asked Cesar to buy him out of their deal. Cesar, believing he was onto a huge money spinner, began to put his plan into action.
Now, these are the fellas that came amongst the people and took Sarah from them and now brought her to Europe and trying to sell her off as some sort of article.
They thought she was a freak because she was different from English women or Scottish women, women in the British Isles whom they knew well. She was different because she had a larger buttocks than one would find in most British women, and for this they considered her to be freakish. If you were looking at her in Khoi society in the Cape, you would have said, oh, there's nothing special about her. She is a member of her population. No.
Exactly.
Different and not freakish at all.
Saatchi Bartman's appearance in London was the first physical confirmation of this semi-mythical phenomena which had been in the minds of English travellers and French travellers even more so for nearly 200 years.
Now, I had to bring that in again. So the discovery of her, according to this contributor here, brought to reality this semi-mythical, this semi-mythical figure, this semi-mythical understanding of the reality of someone that can look like this. And again, why was it mythical or semi-mythical? And I would repeat, remember, we are going back 30,000 years, wherein Venuses were all over Europe, more than meets the eye. So this is why, it's almost like Prester John. You would have heard of, I wonder if, do you believe that? But then, bam, when she would have appeared, it is true. That is why she could have easily received the name Venus. Her daddy didn't call her no Venus. Her mother never gave her no Venus as her name. But these fellas have been searching for who? They've been searching for Venus. Just like they've been searching for Prester John. So when they found the closest thing to Venus. They said, it's Venus. Simple as that. But that was, as we just, expressed again, this would have been special to them. But amongst the Khoi, this is just a natural thing. This is the beauty of the black woman. The real Venus.
They knew this was odd, but this was the first exhibit, and it was a time, as I say, when we were looking for whatever was new.
Piccadilly was even then a popular entertainment area in the big metropolis. Of all the various thrills on offer, freak shows were the biggest attraction.
Freak shows really started in royal courts. Anything that was different in any nation was taken to the king. We've got them recorded in France in the 1400s. Queen Henrietta Maria in this country had a dwarf who was 18 inches high as her jester. And if you look at Velázquez paintings, the imperial court of Spain and Portugal kept dwarfs who used to play with the royal children, but they were also royal jesters. Now, inevitably, such people sought income outside the court. They often weren't paid inside the court. And what they did was simply to take to fairs and circuses. We exhibited sapient pigs, sapient horses, fleas that could fight, women who were bears, bears who were women, pigs dressed up as women. Anything went. You could not imagine anything in your mind that was not horrific enough or outlandish enough to be exhibited in return for money.
On the 20th of September 1810, Hendrik Cesar published an advertisement in the Morning Post.
Just arrived from the banks of the river Hantus on the borders of the Kafraria in the interior of South Africa. A most correct and perfect specimen of that race of people.
Oh, you hear that? A most correct and perfect specimen of that people. Now, what we're going to do now, that this is getting serious, I really want us to kind of dive into what really happened to this sister here and why the whole aspect of the exploitation of the black woman can be traced even back to her situation. I mean, it's more than that. They've been exploiting the black woman before her. But again, she stands out almost like a symbol, of again, the exploitation, this psychological exploitation, that many of us totally miss because we feel that everything is all right down here in Babylon. Yeah. All right. Hey, let me just remind each and every one that those who are scoping us on the internet, on the YouTube, remember the link for Radio Anu is in the description below the video. So you will have to join us on Radio Anu, those of you who are watching, to get the rest of this program as we dive deeper. All right.
Prosperity is a herbal remedy that has been naturally designed to nourish the prostate gland. Prosperity uses a combination of leaves, roots, and barks to create a tincture designed to nourish your prostate gland. It also will assist in prostate-related issues such as erectile dysfunction, swollen prostates, and problems related to the passage of urine. Call or WhatsApp 728-8289, 728-8289 and get your bottle today. Prosperity. Prosperity is a herbal remedy that has been naturally designed to nourish the prostate gland. Prosperity uses a combination of leaves, roots, and barks to create a tincture designed to nourish your prostate gland. It also will assist in prostate-related issues such as erectile dysfunction, swollen prostates, and problems related to the passage of urine. Call or WhatsApp 728-8289, 728-8289 and get your bottle today. Prosperity.